afternoon, 49er fans. It's Saturday. The 49ers wrapped up practice for this week in preparation for their big Monday night showdown with the Baltimore Ravens. Man, oh man, we got some bad news to tell you today. So we're going to talk about it. I want to get everybody in the chat, say what's up. What's up, my man, Depressed Niners fan? He says, currently at the gym, but of course, always find some time to stream whenever you're on. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, my man. Jason says, what's up? Mia Khalifa is the goal. Okay. Jimmy says, sounds like Kyle is more concerned with the foot of Armstead. Deptopia says, hi. Hi. What's up, Throwback? What's up, Dodgers? What's good, man? How's everybody going? I'm doing okay. But yeah, let's talk about this. So today, the 49ers had their final practice of the week. And today the injury report was laid out. So after 3 days of practice, the team lays out their injury report going into their game. And today ruled out Arik Armstead with a foot and knee injury. That's big news. Jauan Jennings, he's in the concussion protocol still. He didn't get through it. Oren Burks, he has a knee injury. He's out. And Ross Dwelly, high ankle sprain. He's out as well. Questionable. Javon Hargrave with the hamstring injury. He might play. He's questionable. Elijah Mitchell with the knee injury. He might play. We don't know. They did call up Jeremy McNichols to the active roster the other day. So maybe Jordan Mason gets some more action in there. One thing to note about the Arik Armstead injury, I got to pull this up because this is kind of big news. Everybody wants to know what the hell is going on with his foot, his knee, whatever. So this is according to Nick Wagner. He quoted what Kyle Shanahan said today. He says, Arik Armstead is dealing more with the foot issue than the knee at this point. So it's more of the foot. And he says, Shanahan says the foot issue is similar to what Armstead was dealing with last year. No certainty on a timeline for his return. That's big. He's got plantar fasciitis. It sucks. Armstead is a big part of this 49ers football team. Defensively, they need to be able to stop the run. Hargrave's going to be dealing with a hamstring issue. And, Armstead's not healthy. He's not going to be playing this week against the Ravens. This is a big loss for the 49ers. This is one of the biggest losses of the season. Now, can they beat the Ravens? Absolutely. They still can. But it's a big loss, guys. He's a tremendous run stuffer, and this is going to be a real test for the 49ers. I know they got Stallworth added to the roster, but he's not Arik Armstead. Armstead was playing at a Pro Bowl level. Kalia Davis just went to the injured reserve, right? T.Y. McGill, he's okay, but he's not Arik Armstead. Hargrave's going to be playing with a hamstring injury if he plays. So this is going to be a test. Javon Kinlaw, he's been playing better this year, but he's not as stout of a run defender as Arik Armstead. So test for this 49ers defensive line is going to be had. Kevin Givens is there, but I mean, he's just not Arik Armstead. This is a big loss. Whether you want, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you say it, this is a massive loss for the 49ers defense. And they're going up against one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the best running teams. They got the best running quarterback in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, and they got a beast in Gus Edwards. So tough test for the 49ers. Another big injury I want to bring up is Jauan Jennings. Jauan Jennings, this is according to Kyle Shanahan. He says that Jennings has made progress through the concussion protocol, but there is not enough time for him to fully clear it by Monday. That is huge. The 49ers are going to be without Jauan Jennings. They're already without Ray McLeod. This is one of their money guys, clutch guys, third down, first down machine. Jennings is a phenomenal blocker. This guy does all the dirty work. He's the enforcer of this team. He's the glue guy on offense. So tough loss. He's a guy that can come up with clutch catches. And again, he just gets under the skin of players. Jauan Jennings not being here is massive for me, in my opinion. So concussion, he's out, and he's out all week. So this must have been a hell of a concussion for him to have in order for him not to make it through the concussion protocol, because they don't play till Monday. They played Sunday, and he didn't clear the concussion protocol at all. So that tells me this was a pretty severe concussion compared to most. Players usually get cleared in the week, and they play on Sunday. So Jauan Jennings, hopefully he's okay, and he can get cleared in the future. But, another guy that had a big concussion this year and never was cleared after, the first week, CJ Stroud, he's been dealing with the concussion. So, the 49ers got to be safe. They got to make sure they rest these guys for the rest of the year. You can't just think about this game. There's still 2 more games after this and the playoffs. So at the end of the day, yes, it sucks that we don't have these 2 guys, Armstead and Jauan Jennings, but injuries are big, and we need to make sure they're ready for the playoffs. And, that's a little bit more important. So if the 49ers, come into this game beat up, it is what it is. They got to be able to win without these guys, and keep them healthy for when they really, really, really need them. Because again, regular season game, AFC opponent, they're not going to determine if they get the number one seed or not. They still have a game ahead of everybody. You still got to handle business against Washington and LA. So again, you hate this, but we'll talk about these predictions. Debbie wants to know, what is my prediction for the game? Does it change with the injuries? I still think the 49ers win 28-21, somewhere around there. 30-23 in that ball game. But if I had to give a final score, I did yesterday, 28-21. It doesn't change my score. It just makes it more challenging for the 49ers. But you got to remember the Ravens are coming into this with injuries as well. Keaton Mitchell, he's sidelined for the rest of the season. And Mark Andrews, their tight end galore, he's out for, with an injury as well. So the Ravens are banged up. There's no excuses. The 49ers can't have excuses. We can't say, oh, well, we didn't have Arik Armstead. Oh, well, we didn't have Jauan Jennings. That sucks. But the Ravens also have injuries. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Depressed Niners fan says, Rams right now give me 2021 Niner vibes. Yeah, they're playing good. They're kind of on a heater. They're underrated. They're coming in. They're that dark horse in the NFC West. It's probably the most dangerous team to play in the NFC playoffs right now is the Rams, because they're getting hot. Puka Naku is legit. Cooper Kupp is finally getting healthy, and Matt Stafford's playing tremendous football, and Aaron Donald is playing like Aaron Donald. So they are playing really good football. I feel if the 49ers play them again, that'd be the third opponent if they play them in the playoffs. Third time they've played that opponent, because they got one more game. And in the playoffs, 3 times in one season, you know how history usually goes in those situations. Although the 49ers swept the Seahawks last year, 3 games. So, again, we can't really too much worry about that yet. We got to handle business. 49ers Monday night football game is at, stake here. The other injuries, again, that we talked about, Oren Burks is out. Oren Burks is a very underrated linebacker. He doesn't get a lot of hype. People don't talk about him enough. People don't talk about this injury enough. Oren Burks is a great special teamer, a really solid linebacker for this team. But out of all the positions the 49ers have that they could kind of take an injury would be linebacker. They have great linebackers. Obviously, they have, some younger players that they can, utilize. Jalen Graham, D. Winters. They got Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. They got some good linebackers in the mix. So it sucks that Oren Burks is injured. He's a good special teamer. But if the 49ers have a position where they can kind of mitigate the injury, it's linebacker. And you got Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. So those are the GOATs. Ask Joe says, I'm officially nervous. Are you guys nervous? A little nervous without Arik Armstead. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous without Arik Armstead. The guy's a monster. And, I think people are finally realizing the value of Arik Armstead. Like, they are finally realizing just how good he is. You know what I mean? Because every year, he's getting he's overpaid. He's this, he's that. He's this, he's that. Arik Armstead's a good player, man. And he's such a quality run defender. But, hey, we got to handle business, like you guys said. Injuries happen. It's the NFL, and every team is going through injuries. It's not just the 49ers. We can't cry. We can't sit here and boo-hoo ourselves. Every team has injuries, some more than others, some worse than others. And again, the big point is let's hope that we can get through these injuries and, get through this regular season without any major injuries and, be as healthy as we can through the playoffs. And hopefully if they can hang on and win 2 games out of the next 3, they'll get the number 1 seed and they'll have an extra week to rest. But speaking of Aric Armstead again, Kyle Shanahan did say it is very similar to his injury last year. So it's a plantar fasciitis type thing. They're very pesky injuries. They're very nagging. They can kind of strike whenever. It's a chronic condition. So very painful. And it just takes time for that injury to heal. So it sucks, but there really is no time frame for Armstead to come back. There's no magic number. Oh, okay, plantar fasciitis is gone. I've had patients myself that I've treated with plantar fasciitis, and they always, oh, when am I going to get it? How many weeks? How many days? I don't know. Everybody's body heals differently, and it's one of those things that it's a pain tolerance thing. And if you're playing football and you're planning and you're laterally cutting and you're having to dig into your foot, it's going to cause pressure and it's going to hurt. So the more he plays football, the worse it's going to get. So it's just one of those bad injuries. Plantar fasciitis sucks. Bottom line. My man Throwback says, I miss DJ Jones. I think we all do. I wish they would have had the money to keep that guy. He was great. It's great. But yeah, unfortunate for Armstead. It's an uncertain timeline on his return. There's no real no. We don't know. I can't tell you when he's coming back. My man Oscar Joe says if Purdy throws out a monster game, he'll lock up that MVP on Christmas. Yeah, I think a lot of people have said this week. Steve Young, many people have said this is the battle for the MVP. It's the battle for the MVP, guys. You have Lamar Jackson on one side. You have Brock Purdy on the other side. Both of those guys are pretty much the top teams in the NFL, the top quarterbacks on their team, and they're MVP candidates, right? They're the quarterback of these great number one teams. And when you're the quarterback of a number one team, you're pretty much in the thick of the MVP conversation, for the most part, unless you're just like dog water getting carried by everybody. But that's for another day. The other guy in this mix is Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is a guy that is a legit MVP candidate. So there's a couple of scenarios. Baltimore can win the game with Lamar Jackson going off. He's MVP. You got 49ers winning the game, dominating Lamar, and Brock Purdy just goes off and he outduels him. He's MVP frontrunner. Or 49ers win a defensive struggle, but the key to the 49ers would be Christian McCaffrey going for like 2 or 3 touchdowns. And he's the reason they win the game. Running touchdowns. He puts the team on his back. Then you got to say CMC. He's the one that carried him. So a lot of intriguing storylines on this game. A lot of intriguing storylines. Yeah, Oscar Joe, you know what I meant. Terrence says, I'm calling a McGill breakout game. Terrence, I hope so, because, again, without Armstead, somebody has to step up. T.Y. McGill, you got to step up, my boy. I hope he does. I hope Stallworth, the new guy that they signed, gets elevated and he can play. I hope Jauan Kinlaw steps up. Somebody on this defensive line got to step up. And hopefully Javon Hargrave is able to play. He's questionable, but just judging on how practice has gone these last 2 days, Hargrave has been back. I'm pretty certain he'll be playing on Monday Night Football with an extra day's rest. But we need Javon Hargrave. Like, Hargrave needs to have a monster performance. He needs to be, like, locked in, basically, because without Armstead, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have Javon Kinlaw and Javon Hargrave. It's going to be the Javon and Javon. Double J's out there, right? Oh, that's who's going to be. Susan says, we'll be the worst if all the 3 teams lose, Eagles, Lions, Cowboys, and all we need is a win to lock up the number 1 seed and we lose. Can you not? That would be pissy. That would be nasty. That'd be horrible. I hope that doesn't happen. Hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope that doesn't. I would be sick to my stomach, Susan, that happens. Russell says, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Remember him? The little strut. Remember Double J? Jeff Jarrett. I like that guy. I liked him. He was good. Good on the mic. Underrated right there. Yeah, what else? Any other questions, concerns? Again, that was the injury report for today. The big news, obviously, is Armstead's not there. And Jauan Jennings. I think we need to mention that a little bit more. Jauan Jennings not being there is massive. Again, big third down target. He's a big receiver for the 49ers when they need a big clutch guy. It's unfortunate, that Jauan Jennings is out. And again, they've been dealing with wide receiver injuries. Ray McLeod and Ronnie Bell's been kind of struggling the last couple of weeks. He's rookie, so he's still trying to learn the ropes. He's made a few almost costly mistakes, but they're gonna have to rely on Ronnie Bell a little bit more. And you got Debo and Brandon Ayuk. They're gonna be doing a lot, so now they're gonna have to really step up in the blocking game. It's tough, because Jauan Jennings is such an important part of this offense. Downfield blocks, people forget how much he really does in this offense. So he's also a good yak guy, just a glue guy, like I said earlier. So that's the big loss. Unfortunate for the 49ers. We'll see. Maybe they'll call up Conley. Or actually, Conley was signed to the roster a couple weeks ago, to the active roster. So he's going to have to step up a little bit more and take that role a little bit, from Jauan Jennings this weekend. Another guy that has not been able to play is Danny Gray. So, wide receiver depth has kind of taken a hit. But again, they do have 2 of the best receivers in the league with Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel. They've got to really kind of step it up a notch and cook it up. They got to be able to block like Jennings does. Again, Jennings really opens up a lot of lanes downfield with his blocking. So now you're going to maybe see a little bit more blocking from George Kittle, who obviously is always blocking, but, maybe a little bit more than they thought. So definitely going to be interesting to see how the 49ers kind of rally and, utilize this wide receiver core. Maybe they'll use a little bit more CMC to the left side behind Trent Williams. So my man Team Cali says Bosa, Chase, Pharrell, and Randy have to play their cards perfect. Lamar is real slippery. Hopefully our DTs get to him before he sneaks up the backfield. Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to really have their work cut out for him against Lamar, man. The man is slippery. He's like a snake. He's just like a guy that's he's slithering all over the field, and that's the thing is they got to be able to hold him at bay and not let him break out of the pocket. You got to contain him. It's not going to be easy, but they got some guys. They have Chase and Bosa's played a little bit inside lately. Inside outside. He can play a little bit of both. Maybe Bosa's going to have to play a little bit more inside with Armstead out, and everybody else. But again, they got some guys. They got Stallworth, T.Y. McGill, Jauan Kinlaw. They're going to have to really step it up. Kevin Givens. These guys are really got their work cut out for them because Armstead was having a Pro Bowl season. So, but it is nice that hopefully Hargrave will be back again. Questionable. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play. So, tough game. Going to be fun. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a battle, man. Monday Night Football, Christmas. You can't ask for a better build up than this. This is two of the best teams in the NFL, probably the two best teams. And again, we've talked about it all week. A Super Bowl preview type game, man. My man Terrence Davis says this needs to be a Debo Black Air Force games. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that this week in the comments. It might have been you, Terrence. I think that Debo is going off. This was my prediction the other day. I honestly think that this is going to be a Devon or Debo type masterclass. I think that he's going to be one of those guys that just says, you know what, give me the ball. I'm going to take over. It's Monday Night Football, and the stars shine brightest on Monday Night Football, and Debo's a star. So we'll see. My man David McNiner says having Hargrave back will help the middle, but I want to see more Corvette packages. Yeah, they got to go blitz them out. Use the fast NASCAR package, right? As they call it, the NASCAR package. I think so too. You got to use a little bit of speed against Lamar. Jeff says 49ers faithful for 40 years now, turning 53. Keywords faithful. We got this baby. 40 years strong, 53 years old. Happy birthday to you if your birthday is anytime soon. Agent E says, what up, Raj? The defensive line is going to be fine without Armstead. I love to hear it. I love the confidence. I hope so. Let's pray for it. Russell says, do you see where Acho says Kyle Hamilton is going to basically ball out on our screen? Yeah, I saw a lot. There's been so much talk on this game. There's a lot of hype. People say this. People say Lamar is going to go crazy on the Niners. People are saying Debo is going to do this. Honestly, now we just can't talk anymore. We just have to see how everybody plays and see what happens, So, again, tough injuries for the 49ers. Arik Armstead and Jauan Jennings headline those that are out. But, hey, the 49ers have been through adversity. They're a tough team. They're at home. They still got a lot of other great players on this team. So let's hope that we are talking about a big dub on Christmas. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And have a good Merry Christmas on Monday. And have a good Christmas Eve tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully on Monday we are sitting here talking about a victory over the Ravens. It's not going to be easy. But you guys take care. Make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate all the support. I'm out of here. I'm going to head down to San Francisco. Take my daughter to Union Square. We're going to go enjoy the holidays. You guys have a good rest of your night. I love you. Bang, bang. Nana gang. You guys have a very, very Merry Christmas, faithful. I love you.